Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you. You're like a rock star. You're everywhere and got it going on and moving and
What?
shaking.
Where? You make it sound like I'm in two places at once. Where else am
You
I?
you are. You're everywhere. But that's
Inescapable.
but that's great. You're so knowledgeable in so many things, and that's such a help to the consortium. I truly believe that. I'm a big fan. So
That's really kind of you to say. I'm just doing my
no,
best.
no, I
And every
exactly no. I'm just yeah. So.
Oh, Heather in chat. Hi, Heather. It's good to see you again. We have new people today. I'm excited. Oh, everyone is welcome, Sharon. We are very glad to have you. You don't have to be part of the committee to come to meetings. There's not even an official, there's not really an official roster for this committee. If you come to the meetings, you're basically part of the committee. So I hate to tell you that you may have just accidentally joined, and we are glad to have you. Hi, Karen. We're getting two Kirkwood people today. Oh my gosh, we are blessed. Oh, it's Krista.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
We still have a couple of minutes to go. But for people who don't typically come or here for the first time, we're not a very structured committee. So we get together once a month. And if people want to bring reports issues, we love to look at those together. Sometimes we talk about topics that might help with reports for the wider consortium, or talk about new functionality or problems that people are having. So we're really flexible here. We do not have a set agenda. I usually come with some things that I want to talk about, and usually other people have things that they want to talk about. And that's basically how it goes. So people can feel free to come in and exit as they need. But yeah, it's very nice to see so many new folks. Anita, there's no need to do that. We don't take attendance. So your presence is our present.
Well, thank you.
There's no requirement to attend these meetings, and so we don't need to
Ah,
keep track of who is here.
okay.
Although, as
You
I was
take
saying
MasterCard or
before,
Visa?
if you if you come frequently enough, you become a de facto member of the committees. Tony did say that he's on desk this afternoon, so he said he's not likely to be able to join us, but that he would try if he could. So it is 2 o'clock. The meeting is recorded. We do post these to the YouTube channel eventually. We did not have an April meeting, so we may have some things backing up, but many of us saw each other at the user conference in April, which I thought was such a fun day full of learning and meeting people. Um, and since I think maybe some folks are here because of that, does anyone have any questions about the presentation or things that have been on their mind since then? Fair enough.
Heather, one of the things that you brought up in the presentation that I realize I don't really do, and maybe would be interested in hearing how other people do it. I only ever work from templates. Like I never click into my reports tab. Like if I'm running a report, I click on the template. If I am editing the report, of course, I have to go into the template and clone it. So that is my go-to place. And I don't really even know how to use, I know how to use my outputs to check whether something is actually running. And I know how to use my templates, but I never click on the little reports area. And I don't know if that's good or if that's a valid way to be doing things or if I should be considering clicking on that occasionally. So that is something that you talked about with your adorable little painted ceramic cow. And I was like,
How was my cow? I
yeah,
forgot about my
it really
cow.
stuck with me. And I'm like, I don't actually ever paint the cow.
Or you do paint the cow, but you only paint the cow one way, and that's absolutely fine. Um, I mean, it's sort of, it almost ends up being philosophical in the end about do you edit a report or do you just make a new report from a template? And I think that depends on how specific you are with your template, because the templates that I make, I potentially will be needing to run them for 9 libraries. So I never fill in org unit or things like that. And individual libraries who are filling in things like org unit, you don't probably have to make as many individual reports from a single template.
I think I edit reports. The only time I edit them, it's real easy if a staff member leaves and a new one takes their place, or I need to add an email for output on those recurring reports. That's my main edit thing, because when I make, if I need to, I'm going to clone that template and redo that. That's just, I think everybody's got their own way, and if it whatever works, I think that's great. But that's the only time I've really edited things, because I get in trouble when I start transforming and doing, I don't know, transformers, that's what I call it. Then it doesn't work. It doesn't work out for me too good. So that's, I kind of, and it just takes experience and time and practice of all that stuff. And I short on that sometimes. So yeah.
I'll say that a couple of versions ago, I found that editing reports was finicky at best. Like you might edit a report, but that it might not take. That was pre-Angular. Post-Angular, I've had a lot more success being able to edit reports. Like Marianne, the edit that you're talking about, like adding a staff member or changing the schedule, or changing recurrence. Pre-Angular, I found that like it just didn't work sometimes. Like sometimes you just had to go back to the template and make a whole new report. But in the last year, I found it to be a lot easier to make those kinds of changes. Like you can actually edit a report. Just marvelous.
And I'm talking old reports, not simple. So that's, I know you
Yeah.
use a lot more simple reports than I ever do. So maybe that makes a difference too on things.
I mean, with simple reports, the template and the report are the same thing because there's no templates. So those are all editable, which is nice. I mean, simple reports do have their limitations. Karen, I think another reason people might do it is if it's a report that's not recurring, but that you sort of like manually make it recurring by editing the dates and rerunning the report. I think that's a circumstance where you'd be editing the report itself. But I mean, if you're not doing it and it's working for you, then
Is there a functional difference between, like, if I go into my templates and I just double click on one, I don't right click clone. I mean, I can do the same things where I can change, if I have variable filters, I can change them from there. Is there a difference between doing that from within going into the template and going into the reports tab? This is like,
I mean, you would have one template, one report versus one template, two reports.
okay. So this is, I think I'm afraid to look in my reports folder because I think I've generated probably a truly obscene number of reports into that folder. So maybe I should do that.
I don't go to mine without reason, you know. It is like a messy room in your house. And I think that's true for I think that's true for everyone. Also, they multiply when you're not looking. Like the clones are getting up to bad business. One of the other things that I had discussed in the presentation was I had an action item, which was I asked people to check their folders and to see if they were sharing them on the ME level. And if they were, hey, Carol, do you mind if you mute? Unless you were wanting to talk to the group, which we of course welcome.
On my stuff.
Oh, thank you. I asked people to check their folders to see if they were sharing at the ME level, because if you're sharing at the ME level, then anyone who's searching can see your templates in the searching. And because we all clone from the same reports, it leads to a lot of duplicates and chaff in those. So I know that, I mean, within the last year, I think the reports committee has tried to talk about how we keep reports tidy and how we help people make sure they're running the best possible reports. And the path we went down first was to request a list of very old reports, because the older a report is, it doesn't mean it's gone bad, but it's possible that it has. And we had talked about, you know, trying to clear out those really old reports, but functionally, if we can just get everyone to stop sharing their folders, it helps a lot with limiting the spread of those kinds of reports from one library to another. So I actually emailed one of my dear colleagues who was sharing a folder on the ME level and asked them to unshare it and explained why. And they said, oh yeah, it seems very reasonable. So I was thinking, what if we just emailed the people who are sharing folders on the ME level and asked them to move it down to system level? There's not that many, like 4 or 5. And I think as long as we present it as like a gentle suggestion, I hope people wouldn't feel offended. And it's not even that they're bad reports, it's just a lot of duplicates. So the folders that Equinox makes when people come in, so if we're looking here at the shared folders, actually, are you seeing my screen? Okay, good. If you're looking here at the shared folders, somebody, I think Sarcoxy is pretty new. And this initial report set is being shared on the ME level. It was made for them by Equinox. And I think it was just more or less left shared accidentally. And those are all going to be duplicates of things that we all already have.
What, I see my name on there. I don't know, is that stuff that Equinox did or?
Looks like SJPL fiscal year circ 23-24.
Yes.
No, but I don't. And it's got Emmy did because I try not to share anything. So if I shared it system wide, it was an accident.
And that's bound to happen.
Yeah.
So if you do have a folder that you'd like to unshare or to check the sharing, even you just go to your templates and you can see on the end the little the parenthetical.
Yeah.
That shows with whom it is shared. So cataloging shared with the MLC. This one I've shared with ME, which I probably shouldn't. But if you want to change the sharing level, you unshare it. And then you can reshare at the level that you would like. So you could share with your library or your system instead.
Okay.
But it is just that one fiscal year report. I have a feeling you're not even using, I have a feeling you haven't checked the fiscal year 24 circulation for a couple of years.
Right. And that was probably at the beginning because we joined in 23. So that's,
oh yeah.
That's probably, okay. Thank you. That's good.
So I might write emails to folks. I don't even think most people realize they're sharing folders.
Yeah.
And then there are some that of course we'd want to leave. So like some of these I can see because I'm signed into MLC. So not all of these are shared on the ME level just because they're appearing right here. But I think many of these are likely accidents, and we could leave ME reports, ME cataloger, PB admin is Tony. So I think that one is appropriate to leave, but even just limiting this a little bit, I think will really help us. And then I think we had also talked about, like, there is an individual permission to share at the consortium level. Like we could take it away, which when I mentioned it in the presentation, Sue Lightfoot Hareen seemed to think that was a fine idea. So I don't maybe we could pursue that if people didn't think it was too intense.
I think if we have the pathway of sharing things through the reports committee, that's a pretty good option. It's not saying that nobody can ever share a report ever again. It's just that, yeah. And of course, sharing within your own org structure is fine. Yeah.
The one thing it limits that would worry me a little bit is that if you are trying to help someone with a report and you say, share your folder temporarily, and then you take the report and then ask them to unshare, it would take away our ability to do that. So if we were troubleshooting a report with someone, what would be the best way then? Just something to think about. In the meantime, I think we can start with, I'll write a gentle draft email to our colleagues explaining what we're trying to do and share that with some folks and see how far that gets us. I'm just gonna, unless anyone can feel free to interrupt with a reports question at any time. I have like some loose agenda topics that I can go through in whatever order. I got a request from Rhonda Busey last month to take a peek at the standardized reports document that I wasn't aware we had. But which is linked on the reports resources on one of my tabs. Don't look at all the tabs. No, okay, well, it doesn't matter. This is linked on the reports resources tab that's on the Missouri Evergreen site. And Rhonda had said she was going to reshare it. And she asked me to take a peek and update some file paths as needed. And there really weren't like too many to update. A lot of the stuff is changing. It's really changing from aged and active, combined age and active circulations, changing to that instead of just using the circulation source. So there are a few paths that I've changed here, and I will send this out to the committee to take a peek and see if you have anything that you'd like to suggest, because, oh, Karen, thank you. I guess literally I'm looking at the upload itself, but there is a page that says reports resources on the Missouri Evergreen website. And that's when I discovered this existed, and I updated it a little bit. So I thought I would send it out for some more sets of eyes to make sure it's as useful as it can be, and then ask Ron to update that link on the Missouri Evergreen site. And in the meantime, maybe after people look at it, we just send it out randomly to the reports list and say, by the way, this lives here. We do often have requests for common fields for reports. So I think people might like this. It's like, yeah. So I will get that sent out. And then, yeah, maybe as part of like a marketing campaign to get people to look at the other resources that are on that page. Although some of them likely need to be updated as well, especially with all the changes that happened with the Angular reporting. So that's interesting. When I was looking at it, I came across, there's a video from Evergreen International 2020, and it's talking about, it's like a half-hour video about reports that help patrons right now, which is a really good title. And it seemed to dovetail with something that, so I'm also on the circulation committee, and lately I know Rhonda has been working on topics to share with member libraries about like, what are some things you should know? What are some tasks you should be doing? And I know we're all recommended to check hopeless holds and transits and things, but I was wondering if, I don't know, I thought I might suggest, oh, I'm sorry. Regina? Regina, were you trying to talk?
Oh my goodness, I am so sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't talking over you.
Oh my, no, I forgot to mute.
Um, and Rhonda was talking about things that we might recommend to member libraries. So I was wondering if people would be interested or what the group thought about the idea of setting up a report on the consortium level for things that have been in transit for more than 90 days. And like that just emails out to the reports list or to the circulation list, which we know is bigger. Not as a shaming thing, but just as a way to keep track of things, because I personally have been sometimes frustrated by it's the holds aren't hopeless because there's something in transit, but it's been in transit since like 2016. Like I don't think it's coming. So, oh, Sharon likes it. Okay. And then in the same video, there were a couple of reports. So items on the hold shelf over 30 days. And again, I know that's something we're all like theoretically checking, but if we set the time frame to be like really kind of far in the future, this can be like there's like a yellow alert of like the thing you're supposed to be doing all the time. And then there's like a red alert that's like, okay, well, this has been on the hold shelf for like 3 months. So we need to go hunting for it or mark it missing or like do something. And then I wondered about including canceled transit, like a list of like, here's the things that are in canceled transit status for more than, I don't know, a month. I mean, nothing's supposed to stay in canceled transit status anyway. But are there any other reports that we think like the circulation group might be interested in that we could set up to help everyone keep items moving, like keeps items tidy? Sort of edges on cataloging, Karen. So I wasn't sure what the cataloging group might think about that because items end up being this weird no man's land between cataloging and circ.
Something that the cataloging committee has been talking about is more sharing of reports at a consortial level too. So this is something that, we get those monthly reports that come from Equinox, but we don't have, at least the cataloging ones are sometimes of questionable usefulness depending on how you do your item call numbers. But I think that it's a good direction to be moving in, especially knowing how daunting it can be to set those reports up on your own. Yeah, I definitely like that. Also, I think transits are clearly not a cataloging thing, so that's fine.
I specifically was like, I'm going to put mending status. And then I was like, no, I'm not going to put mending status. Mending requires going into the cataloger cave, and like rooting around for like the things that have been in there. Okay, so I think I'll suggest that. I'll just send a suggestion to Rhonda and see if she's amenable to that. I mean, we could set it up on the reports listserv anyway, but we know it doesn't have as many people. And I'd love to get like broad eyes on that. Something else that I have been corresponding with a colleague about at another MEC library is non-cataloged circulations. And we were having a conversation at the user conference about whether or not those are included in the combined aged and active circulation source. So I ran a couple of reports to test and they're not included. So if your library is using uncatalogued circulations, they're actually not included on the combined aged and active circulation source. But the person I'm corresponding with, they do have a report which seems to combine all three. So I'm trying to correspond with them right now and get some additional information because that's very interesting. I don't know how many libraries use that function.
I don't even know what that means. The circulation of uncatalogued items. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Let me share. So hopefully you can see my screen.
Because if they're not cataloged, we don't circulate. I don't.
So it's
I'm
very
sorry, I
specific
didn't
things
get.
where it's like free paperbacks that you basically give them away, but the library would like to count them as a circ. So you
Oh,
check it out to a patron. There's no real due date or expectation that
we
it
used
will
to
be returned.
we used to call that the ephemeral wizard in the old system because we had and it was ephemeral because it counted those non-barcoded magazines, whatever they were, and it kept count, and then it would fall off their card. It wouldn't even be on their card anymore, but it did count in circ stats. But we don't have
Yeah,
those anymore. I mean, everything's we count them, but
yeah.
that's the type thing I get. Okay.
The Ephemeral Wizard is a YA novel.
Hey,
The
I
other
didn't make that
thing,
up. It came with the
um,
system. That's what they called it. It was a little
I'm
ghost.
no, you clone it to own it. You said it, Marianne. Therefore, it is yours. It is yours. Um, the other, I think Karen, you're the one who said that this would be great for something like a seed library. Like if you want to have a checkout of seeds, like we don't really expect people to return the seeds. I mean, ideally, sure, they're growing bell peppers and then returning the bell pepper seeds to us. Like I feel like has that ever happened?
No, we
So
have
if you're doing,
yeah, we do a seed library, but I mean, we give them away and they just have a count of how many they've have given out because people write on a slip
okay.
of paper of how many they took just to, for statistical purposes, but they're not checking them out. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, that's functionally what
yeah,
this is, though, is just like counting a checkout, but like there's no item record. So
right.
each library could have a different setup here, but if you click the barcode drop down, it will show the uncatalogued types that exist at your library. And they can be, of course, customized. So we could make one that said C library. And then you basically set a loan period. And then after that loan period, the item just goes away. But it counts as a circulation if you're looking at the right source.
Heather, have you looked at the all circulation combined types source path? I bet that includes.
I know we have a book club sets that we do that. We have that under a drop down and it counts those because
Oh.
they're taking like 10 copies of the book, but it's only barcoded with one barcode. So to get around the counting of one checkout, you get the 10. So I guess we do
So if
have
you,
what you're talking
yeah, so
about.
if you
Yeah.
click your barcode drop down, you have
Yeah,
one that says
we
bookmark
do.
kit.
Yes, we
Okay.
do. Yes. Sorry, I forgot about
Cool.
that part.
No, that's,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like if that's not what you call it at your library, the name is not going to make sense to you.
Well, because I guess the uncatalogued, that's what threw me.
All circulation combined types. Is this but
I'm looking through some of the paths and I'm not seeing uncatalogued in there, but I mean, what else would this be combining?
I think it would be considered circulation, that uncatalogued would be considered a circulation type. But what I don't see is like shelf location, and there's like CircMod's not here. So looks like it can provide the info, but it's pretty bare bones. But still, thank you for finding that. I want to test that.
Yeah, I don't see it linked to Alta call number volume.
You know what the library I've been corresponding with is Dulaney Memorial. So I know they use uncatalogued. So I might do a test of their April circs and see what I can see. Oh, I love that. But I hate the idea. It really bugs me, the idea that anyone's losing circulations being counted because they are not using the right source. And I especially hate the idea that we've been hammering about using the combined source and that it might not be pulling every single circulation for every single library. I'll do tests on that. Does anybody have any report questions they would like to discuss? I think that's everything I had. So if anyone else has another topic, again, we're pretty casual. So you can feel free to speak up or put in chat, or half the time I feel like it devolves into like Marianne and Karen and Regina and me like looking at a report together. Not devolves, it evolves, it transcends.
I do get an uncatalogued report, and I did talk to Dale about it, and he said that it's not affected by the aged and active problem due to the way that those circs count. But I can send it to you to see if you can want to look at the path and.
I would. Is it just the uncatalogued items and does it come separately from your other circ reports?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
That would be really interesting. And then I would want to look around to see, like, is there a source that could do both things, that could show you detailed circulation information that included shelving location and owning library and still show all the circulation types, including uncatalogued? Because this source by name looks like it will include those things, but it also looks like we can't then include more complex information. What kind of things, Regina, is the library circulating in that way? Is it like paperbacks and seeds? Those are the two things that we have discussed. Oh, and book clubs.
Yeah, magazines, some paperbacks. We used to do our board books as uncatalogued, but we've since started cataloging them.
You do all your magazines that way?
Yes, all of the magazines.
Wow.
All
that
of
probably saves a lot of processing time.
Right. Yeah. Because we used to withdraw them at the end, once they're a year old. So then that was also a lot of work.
I sort of like that. It's like, because then you can start including like the book page, it's like sitting up by the circulation desk and you start counting the circs on book page and be like, this is a magazine. This is a magazine that we are giving to you. We don't expect it back, but it's a boon to us. Like the more circulations we get, the better. So
wow, yeah.
I know not every library has book page, but I'm going to build this report while I'm still thinking about it. The item type, sometimes a thing that I do, I don't know if other people do this when I'm building a report and I don't know what's going to show up on it, is I just kind of choose everything. And then from the resulting report, decide what's useful.
Heather, while you're doing that, I was going to drop in the chat. This was a resource that I didn't know existed until somebody at the Evergreen International Conference pointed it out. And it's something that I think people have asked for in the past. It's not exactly a guide to like every source path or anything, but it is really a very helpful description of what all the different options when you're building a report is, like what a timestamp versus a date is and all that sort of stuff. So it may just be me who didn't know that it existed out there in documentation, but I have referred to it multiple times lately because I find it very, very helpful.
Like I was looking at a report earlier and I couldn't figure out why I wasn't getting the relative box. And it's because it wasn't a date. It was still listed as raw data. And you can't have relative date box if it's not a date. Yeah, this is great.
I didn't mean to interrupt your report building. I just wanted to
share
that while I was
doing that. I was doing it
yeah.
to do something and let people percolate. There's still so many mysteries in reports. Star this one. Other favorites? Choose another folder. There we go. Awesome. Oh, it's May 14th, so I'm sure people are preparing to run some fiscal year reports on July 1. Just a reminder to schedule them for early in the morning so you don't spend all day waiting around for your reports. So one of the things that we looked at when we sent out that survey about like who would like a report that does this, who would like a report that does this, I was very focused on simple reports when I did that. And I have made templates for like almost all of those. But the limitation of simple reports, I mean, there's several, but one of them is they're not that easy to share. So I could send everyone the snips of exactly what it looks like, or I can make reports and then like give them to people by saying, here's a URL. Now you enter in your details and save it. But I don't feel like that's scalable given the size that we are now working with. So thinking that I probably need to redo those, and they would be simple. They'd be simple to redo. And then we can make ourselves a little folder that says, I don't know, something catchy. Requested reports or something like that. Does anybody have a report idea that they have not made real yet that they are just thinking about or working on or hoping that there is a way to do it?
I have one that I've been just
You're gonna
going.
say the evil word, aren't you? You're gonna say the
Yeah,
evil
I've been
word.
going around in circles, and I think there's a way to do it without nullability, but I can't figure out what. So I am trying to figure out how to run a report that shows me what bib records, what TCNs are missing the 082 field, so the call number field. And the problem is I can run dozens of reports that show me what is in the 082 field, but I can't figure out a report to show me a list of things that do not have an O. And it's like that do not have is always the hardest thing for me. And so I was trying to think of another way to go around it, and I just can't figure it out. And I'm sure it has to do with joins and nullability, and I just don't understand how those work enough. So if anybody has an idea of how to show me something that isn't there.
You already ran it for each of the 3 types of joins though, didn't you? I mean, we tried this when we were doing it for UPC. And
Yeah.
I remember that we ran it for a left join, we ran it for a middle join, we ran it for, or an inner, and we ran it for a right join.
The thing that I'm not sure about is like if it's not actually like if it's not null, like it's not that the 082 field doesn't have any information in it, it's that the 082 field doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So I think like it may not even be a null condition. But the thing that kills me is when you do a MARC record simple extracts, which are very limited what you can extract out of the MARC record, it will show you if there's nothing in that field. So like I can see that this record doesn't have any O20s, it doesn't have any ISBNs in it, and that result is just blank. But it only is the very limited fields that you can run. But I think that the SQL query is built differently for those in the reporter is my best guess. So I don't know how to do it. Yeah, Krista, I think
example, something about daffodils, daisies, picking daisies.
I had the same thought, but it's like there's just nothing there for it to. I'm saying this should be here, but it's not there. Can you find? I feel like I'm so close to it, but I just don't know.
Yeah, see, this has one, but if it was like,
oh, I have a list of TCNs somewhere that I just. Because what I ended up doing is I ran a list of what I knew existed, and then I ran a list of things that had 082s, and then I cross-referenced them and figured out what wasn't on both lists. And then that was how I figured out. But I don't like doing that. I just want a report to do it all for me.
And I'd love it. I mean, it would come in handy for so many other like minor cataloging things, like
yeah, like finding missing important fields. Yeah.
Have you asked the wider Evergreen reports list?
I have not, and that is a good idea. I should do that because I bet there's somebody out there. Or they'll come back and tell me that's impossible. You have to write a SQL query to do that.
That would be a comfort though, right? To know that it's impossible and then you can stop like banging your head into this problem. Because we know Sarah got that list, but from support, but they ran it through SQL. They didn't create a report for that. Yeah. I'm going to be on the lookout for that email now. I really want to know if it's a thing we can do. Because it's not like the patron record. The patron record would have a field no matter what, and the field would be empty or null, but.
I think if the information in there is something that you want to found, I mean, the experience I've had, because we had about 8,000 records that migrated over, that in the 040, it had no hit in it. The words no hit, because it was from two. Exactly, because it was from 2 migrations ago that they didn't know where to put it. So luckily they put that in that 040 field. And so therefore I finally figured out how to search by that to get that list so we could work on cleaning that up. But as far as being, that nullability, doesn't exist, that's a real challenge. But I totally understand of trying to search of how to get a list of something because it's such a wide range.
It just won't let you run it if this is blank, right?
Well, I don't think so. And Heather, I thought that TCN is in my bucket of things that don't have no 82. Clearly, there's something going wrong with my bucket. Yeah. I see that now.
Yeah, just nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing on this.
Yeah, it's I know it's a problem with every ILS. This is not just an evergreen problem, but the problem of finding a thing that isn't there is
Can you do it in the MARC search within the record, not a report? Because I get a lot of lists from that. I will use the MARC over here. No, like if you get off see the MARC search, and see put in your tag and the value, and if you leave it, nothing. I don't know, because that's
so
why
I just tried to run it blank and it didn't like it, but maybe I'll add in a subfield. Maybe that would.
I don't know. I know that's where I've gotten a lot of ones that I can't get a report for, but I'll run this to find like all the graphic novels or all the things that were in the 300 field that I was looking, and that was great. And then I can print that list. So I mean, it's something.
This is a great search. I absolutely think this is an invaluable way to search the catalog. And I recently learned, and Karen already knew this, that you can keyword search for a TCN in Evergreen. You can just type it into the keyword. You don't have to do numeric and then TCN and put it in. You can just do a keyword and it pops right up. Because I did it on accident and I was like, well, that was dumb. It's not going to work. And it worked instantly. And then Karen, what did you say about Aspen?
You can do the same thing. You can keyword search a TCN in Aspen and it brings up the record.
Love it.
It's very convenient.
Absolutely love it. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's 2:40. I mean, we don't typically go a whole hour. I'm willing to stay as long as people would like to chat about anything reports related. If anyone has any questions, of course, they're welcome to stay. You can always send an email to reportshelp@moevergreenlibraries.org, and you get to Marianne, you get to Karen, me, a couple other people who can help with reports questions. But yeah. Thanks, folks, for coming. You're welcome to stay if you'd like to chat. But that's kind of all I had, unless anyone else had any additional things they wanted to discuss or mention. Ideas are welcome. Wild thoughts. Like if there's a training you think that's needed, I feel like that's always a good place to start. There are a lot of very good trainings for reports, like the C# and the Pines trainings, which are linked on that page of resources, which I need to remember to send out.
I actually opened the link to and considered watching for like the 5th time the Thanks for Nothing nullability presentation today. And then I was like, I don't think it's going to solve my problem, so I didn't do it.
It used to look completely different though. Am I right? Like there used to be a box that you checked
Yep.
that said nullability, and that box isn't even there anymore.
Not there anymore. Yeah, it's you have to
Did
do
you-
it through the joins.
Well, would Lena be one to ask about that? She's the one that when they redid everything and they gave a big presentation on, it was like she came up with this nullability thing. It was all that nullability. So I don't know if she'd be one that would, could ask about that. Because she did a whole big presentation, they kept giving her accolades for, it's like, look what she did, and it's like, oh wow. And so there you go. That's my.
The nullability presentation that you found, Karen, when's that one from? Is it Angular?
No, it's before that. I think it's the systems manager for Bibliomation.
Okay.
Whose name I can't remember.
But yeah, Marianne, I'm sure you're right. If we submitted a ticket, it probably would go straight to Lena. Because I know she's their reports person, but I might tool around on Pines and see if, because they have really good documentation, and NC Cardinal.
I might send something out to the reports or even the cataloging. Sometimes the Evergreen cataloger interest group, they know, especially for MARC record reports, they might know something.
That's a very good idea.
I might just send it to both. Send it to the reports interest and the cataloging interest.
There's crossover there. So a bunch of people are going to get that email twice.
It's very true.
Oh my goodness. I have had, this is just idle chatter at this point, but I have had multiple emails from directors around the state asking about the possibility of reports trainings like at their libraries, similar to what the catalogers do. So I might just start forwarding those to the executive committee and see if they are interested in investigating what that might look like.
I thought they were going to really entertain doing that and moving forward with it. I know when we joined in 23 that Tony had one at Poplar Bluff, they were too far away for us to attempt, but they have had them. And so, because, they have circulation ones and then they have cataloging and they're so beneficial. And that's what I would even travel if there was a reports one. And just the in-person stuff is really helpful. And everybody's in a room and you come up with things that I hadn't even thought of. So yes, I think it's a great idea.
Well, it's never too early to start thinking about topics for next year's MEC user conference. So people can feel free to send those to report help or to the listserv or to anybody on the call. If you want to share your thoughts, they are very welcome. Because it's hard to get away from just the same thing year after year because we have such turnover, it's very hard to keep building on knowledge instead of just like doing the same thing over and over again, because the intro is always needed.
I have a very, very early suggestion to throw out there because I like gathering a group of people and not having to do a presentation all by myself. But if there were libraries who had, very useful to them recurring reports that they have set up that they rely on things to do, like our Holtz ratio report, we use that for collection development. That's something that we could show what it is, show how we do it, and then at the end of the session, all of the reports are shared in the reports folder, so people could just go and steal them. And it's a kind of a crash course in sort of like what I did with the Aspen presentation, where it's like, here's what we're doing, here's what it looks like, here's how we set it up, here's how we use it. If you want to implement it, then anyway, that's just an idea. But and then that takes the pressure off of
show and tell.
Yeah, exactly like a reports petting zoo. Yeah.
Reports petting zoo. Didn't you used to do a presentation at MLA every year that was like the new toy petting zoo, or like
I did
Oh,
I
right.
did a
I-
robot parade one once. There used to be like tech petting zoos where you could go and like see the new
Right.
like what the new Kindle is like or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, we did that at the state library.
We should do a call for
Yeah.
that. We don't have to wait for the user conference. Like that's very suited to be online. I mean, not probably in the summer because it's such a challenge, like time-wise for libraries, but maybe as we move towards the fall, we could like
We could do a reports meeting
yeah.
session specifically doing a show and tell or something.
Yeah. And blast it out across all the listservs. Poor Colleen will have to just approve. I love that. I'm writing that down. Really good idea.
My idea
Plus we can
is just
include a lot of
steal
pictures of
everybody
animals,
else's
you
hard
know?
work. These are
No,
my only ideas.
your idea
Take
is
everybody's hard
stop-
work and share it.
It's a stop reinventing the wheel. Like I feel like we do so much of like everyone's inventing the wheel, and like some of the wheels are triangles and like some of the wheels are squares and like some of the wheels are theoretical and hopeful wheels, but like I love this reports petting zoo. Plus, just imagine all the pictures of animals we can include on the slides. Fall? Question mark. Such a good idea. Oh, Krista, you're welcome to bring your cats. I'd love to see Maya and Fern. And Merlin's not, I don't even, my dog's not even in here, so yeah. He'd be terrible at reports though. He is not patient. All right, well, I hope everyone has a truly lovely Thursday. Thank you for coming. Again, if you want to stick around, look at a report together, happy to do it. A scratching zoo. He's like a napping zoo. It's like he has arthritis, so it's like he has a hard time scratching. He relies on other people to do his scratches for him. Very good to see you, Heather. Hope I see you again soon. Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Bye.